Okay, so I'm stretching the after credits rant with the title with this one, because it's been over a year since I played the Uncharted games through the last time, but I played through them a lot, so I probably remember what I need to get this point across. Hopefully, if not, disregard this one. But I do think. Okay, so what is the Uncharted games about? What is the story? What is their themes? And I think you can sum it up very good by repeating a line Schaefer says. No, sorry, that Nate reads that Schaefer had wrote in Uncharted 2. What would a man become? So okay, and I'm talking about this very much applies to Uncharted 4, but I'm talking about 1, 2, and 3 for the most part here. And so these are openly very much inspired by action movies, and they're fun, and they don't take themselves too seriously in the story department. They are very good moment to moment, but they don't really play at having capital T teams. But of course they still do, because that's how stories work. That's how we as humans make stories. And in a grand scheme, all the three of them just repeat the same story. You have Nathan Drake going in looking for treasure. Meeting a lot of resistance, deciding that the treasure isn't worth it, still having to go through with getting to the treasure at some point, and then treasure disappears out of his hand. And so, okay, so what would a man become? Why is that important? Because what would a man become if he chose riches and power over, love, which really is just a very important reason why I always end up with Lena at the end of the stories, because the point of the story is that, okay, you have to choose love and humanity over money and power, because if you're not, then you're not a human being. That's a hard thing to say. That's tough, because we all want money and power. And yet, this is the most basic thing we tell each other as humans. So much that even when you don't really set out to say it, and I don't think Amy Hennig was trying to make that much of a point about these things. I don't know her. I don't know very much about her politics or philosophies. I'm sure she's a decent human being, nothing but that, but I don't think she really set out to say that much important when writing the Uncharted games. I honestly, and if you look at the bonus materials at first game, she pretty much says this. She just wrote a fun action story, and she did a great job at that. This is me criticizing the games. This is me very much taking the games seriously, and I think you should take them seriously because they are good games and they're well made. And even though, okay, as I say, I don't really think Amy Hennig said this. I think it's important to look at what we say when we don't really want to say anything, when we don't intend to say anything, because that very much reveals something about a culture. And our culture is very much bad, so it becomes important to hold up when our culture does something good. And I think the Uncharted games are good. I like them. And I just want to Right, because okay, let's talk about games to start. Games obviously they are art form, and on a conceptual level, they're not. I don't want to rank art form. They are art forms, and they can be, but I must admit that I've got very little faith in games as an art form in praxis. It is our worst art form, not because it's inherently our worst, but because it always ends up being our worst art form. Because games suck, man. They're so terrible. I love them, but they really are terrible. They're just bad. But the Uncharted games aren't. They're not good art, but they're decent art. And that honestly makes them some of the best games ever made. And not only are they decent art, they're decent art. As I said, the team they present, the point they made is good. And I like that. I must say I like that. No, you can take games seriously, and you can go watch Jacob Skeller's videos on the Call of Duty games. Because they too say something. It's just that what they say are consistently bad and makes the worst place. And come on, let's be honest and say that making the world a worse place, it's a bad thing to do. So when something like Uncharted Games comes around and they're decent and they're not indecent, then we should kind of celebrate that and highlight that and say that, okay, this is good, this is this is what we should regard as the minimum requirement for the things, the art we consume. And wow, these games really did that. They clear that minimum bar of what we should expect. Wow, that's great. That's great. Okay, I don't think I got anything more to say. Bye.